Dude, I bought a 334 unit apartment this year. Last year, if you would have told me that, I'd been like, dude, I don't know how to buy that. Like, that's freaking crazy. Like, how do I do that? Right. Well, guess what? In all, what month was this? Maybe like in April this year. I meet with my buddy Tim Bratz, and he has 5,000 units. He goes, dude, it's not that hard. Like, and to him, 5,000 units, he's like 334 units. Like, dude, we could do this easy. And I'm like, this is not easy. And he's like, no, it really is. Like, here's what you do. And I was like, okay, that actually does sound pretty easy. It's not as hard as I thought. And, having his confidence behind me, he's like, dude, you're going to raise so much money. Like, he was like, if you just do what I tell you to do, you're going to own $1 billion in real estate. Like, you will. It's not even like, that is the probable case if you just want to do it and you pursue it. And sure enough, hanging out with him made me think bigger. And then boom, we buy the building. Him and I actually partnered on it together.
All right. What's up, Will?
All right, dude. What a webinar.
That was solid. That was epic, dude.
100 people on there, bro. That was killer.
Yeah, we had I think 112, 113. The most I saw.
That was huge, bro. That was mega. A lot of people, a lot of value, a lot of good stuff. I'm happy that everybody who got on screen was able to get their, screen turned on within a couple. Like, that's always my biggest worry, that you're like, you bring somebody on and they're like can't speak or something like that happens. But it was like, nah, everybody's service connectivity was good. I think people are going to get a lot of value out of that for sure.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
What's up, everyone? We just finished our 1-year anniversary. This was the Future Flipper Deal Maker combo, and we had the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ryan Pineda on. Man, he was dropping some gems today. What were your biggest takeaways, Alex?
Man, that was awesome, brother. At 1-year anniversary, we brought on Ryan Pineda. I think one of my biggest takeaways was that your mentors can change along your journey. So the person that's going to help you get to one level is not necessarily the person that's going to help you get to that next level, right? And also, because he's coached so many students, the common traits that he sees in the successful ones are taking action and taking risks. And I think we do that as well. So watch a webinar because it was straight fire. Let's go. Aloha, what's up? What's up, my deal makers? Wow, there's already 20 people here. Love it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? All right, so let's get Mr. Will Wall in the building. We have a big webinar today, you guys. We're going to be interviewing, as many of you know, the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Pineda. So I'm super pumped. And there's my co-host, Mr. Will Wall. What's up, my man?
What's up, Alex? Good to see you, brother. Ready for a good one today. I know we got a big guest. I know you've been doing a lot of big stuff right now and a lot of big updates. So I'm pretty excited and fired up for this one. If you don't mind, Alex, go ahead and making me the host. Then we will go ahead and get ready to rock and roll. In the meantime, we'll let people kind of continue to trickle in here. And as people do trickle in, if you don't mind, guys, go ahead and use that chat feature down there. Let everybody know what your name is, where you're tuning in from, and what your Instagram handle is if you are new to the group. Obviously, I see a lot of familiar faces in there. I see, Ben, Andy, Allison, April, Blake, Mark, all the usual suspects. And we're excited for you guys to join us today as we bring in, a very special guest, right, Alex? I know Ryan is changing a lot of people's lives, and should be pretty fun to bring him in here today with us, correct?
Yeah, man, it's special because it's a year anniversary. So we've been putting on this free real estate investor webinar / meetup for a whole year. I can't believe it's gone so fast. And then to have him on, he's been a big part of our growth and guiding us, and seeing what he's been working on has helped motivate us and give us inspiration and kind of give us the nuts and bolts because he's doing it on a much higher level than us. And so, yeah, man, I'm super pumped. I have a bunch of questions personally that I want to ask him. Even though he's our mentor coach, we don't get to, interview him like this very often. So I'm super excited to be able to do that today. And I got a great update, and I'm ready to bring him on pretty soon.
Yeah, again, we'll go through a real brief update here, and then, we got Ryan in here ready to rock and roll. So, Alex, I know for you, big update. Obviously, you're back in Maui, and you made it back there safely, and you're going to be flying out here to Arizona to meet up with me tomorrow, the next day, to go do a Steve Trang mastermind, a training session that we actually signed up with Ryan through. So really excited for that one as well, right?
Yeah, dude. So I'm back on Maui. I was in LA last week. Got here, I think it was Friday night, early Saturday morning. Got to catch up. We went to a nice dinner with most of the LA team on Friday night. That was cool. Also, when I got here, a lot of people were telling me I brought the weather because there was a freak storm, dude. I mean, literally, things got flooded over here. Fortunately, we didn't have that much damage at our property, although we did have some flooding, a bunch of mud come onto our lanai patio, but it's a lot less than most of the other properties here. So it's funny, I talked to my partner about it and he's like, hey, don't let a tragedy to go to waste, and let's find some motivated sellers that might need to sell their property because they had some flooding going on. So we're starting to work on that. And we're also working on buying another property in Hawaii on the Big Island, nice little entry level fix and flip deal. So I'll be flying over there, not this weekend, but next weekend to close on that property. Check that out. Alex Ibarra, our acquisitions director, has been leading the way with that, and he's already vetted the deal. But it'd be nice to go over to the Big Island, check that out, see that property. And yeah, man, we're doing a workshop on Friday with Steve Trang, one of the best real estate investor sales trainers in the nation. So we're flying over to Phoenix. I love that I can fly direct from Maui to Phoenix. It's one of the reasons that we want to invest into that market. Not the only reason, but it helps logistically, right? And then we're going to be doing a huge multifamily meetup on that Saturday as well in Phoenix/Tempe. So I'm pumped. Let's without further ado, are we bringing in the man, the myth, the legend in, or what are we doing?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and bring in Ryan. I know we have over 70 people here on the call, and obviously we're pretty fired up to bring on Mr. Ryan Pineda. So welcome, man. Good to have you on.
What up, boys? What's good?
What's up, Ryan? How are you, brother?
Just excited to be with a bunch of deal makers, baby.
You're the king deal maker himself.
Always negotiating, always looking for the next deal, baby.
Yeah, we like to say, guys, in the tribe here and in amongst the community, that we live that lowball life, right? So we're always lowballing people.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, I'm just gonna give a little bit for some of the people that don't know how we know each other, Ryan. I wanted to give a little bit of an introduction. I first met Ryan a little bit over 2.5 years ago at the Maui Mastermind, and I was already a big fan. I'm excited to meet him in person. And then after meeting him, about 4 or 5 months later, he called me and he had a deal in LA, which was great because he doesn't really flip that often in Southern California. Most of his stuff is in Las Vegas. So he sends me his deal. I didn't have any idea that I was going to do the deal. I was just copying it out for him. And then he wholesaled me a deal, made 35 grand. And then me and my partner made 90 grand. So thank you so much for that deal, Ryan.
There we go, baby. Win-win.
Yeah. And then after that, a couple months later, he approached me to join his coaching program. And because we already had a great relationship and I respected him so much, I said, yeah, sounds like a great idea. And kind of the rest is history. I've been in the program now about 18 months and really helped out in growing to where we're at now. So thank you for all your guidance and mentorship, Ryan. It's been great to grow alongside you, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm just really proud of how far you've come. And, now you're an accountability coach and future flipper, and you're just helping out a ton of people, dude. Like, it's super inspiring.
I actually had two interns from the rookie program here on Maui. Well, one of them's here already, but the other one's coming in on Sunday. So I was able to get a couple of these future flipper rookies to come out here to Maui to help me out, man.
Dude, perfect. That's what it's about, baby. Networking, community. There's a lot of stuff that can happen when you're in the right space.
Yeah, for sure.
And guys, that's how I, met Alex as well, was just took a chance and said, hey, I want to hang out with you a couple of days here. I want to link up with you. I want to, absorb everything you're doing. And you better believe it, man. Like within that first couple of weeks, Alex was like, hey man, I just got a call. We got another mastermind out in Vegas. And I was like, what the heck's a mastermind? And he was like, dude, we're going to go out there. Ryan Pineda is going to teach us some stuff. His team's going to teach us some stuff. And I was like, let's go. So, again, really kind of full circle and, seeing what we've been able to do, becoming part of that mastermind and going out there. Now, I think 4 or 5 times we've done that now as a team, Alex, and, our business has just continued to skyrocket each and every time. I think we go out there, we just take 2 or 3 new pieces that are just, incrementally, helping our business as it grows. So appreciate you, man. And we're excited to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So Alex, I know you kind of went into an introduction of how, you kind of know and met Ryan. Why don't you kind of go into a little bit more about, how your relationship with Ryan has kind of evolved today, and as Ryan mentioned, you being a accountability coach in Ryan's Future Flipper program.
Yeah, so when I first joined the program, I was already flipping like 3-4 properties a month, at one time in Southern California. But as I joined the program, and I got closer with him and everything that he teaches, then it allowed me to grow the team, grow as a leader, and just continue to level up every single quarter. That's why I attend the mastermind with him every quarter, because there's always little tips, tricks, things that he's working on that have helped us to implement to our business. But I mean, he's just the real deal. Like, if I need something, I can call him. Like, I can text him. Like, he gets back to me, and that's very valuable, because when you get to certain levels, like, there's only certain people that you could reach out to and get those, get that high level advice. And so that's been that's been integral in our growth. That every time we have something that we haven't come across, we can lean on Ryan. We can lean on people on this team to help us with that. But yeah, it's been great. Nowadays, seeing him work on the social media and then raising capital for the other stuff, it gives us inspiration to say, hey, we can still do more, even though now we're like, dude, Ryan, I don't think we even talked to you about it. Like, we have like 16, 17 deals now that we're working on actively. That blows my mind. I'm like, damn, like, it's a lot.
That's awesome.
But again, yeah, just seeing people that are doing at a much higher level in the program, and also with with Ryan directly, it helps us give us all the the details that we need to keep growing and not be scared of the growth, because there's a lot of properties, a lot of cash coming in and out. But yeah, man, I just see Ryan as a friend, a mentor, somebody that could continue to inspire us and give us some tutelage along the way, because we still have a lot to learn. So again, thankful to have my man right here.
Yeah, I'll say that's the cool thing about the group, right? You have a lot of people that are in varying stages, right? You have people who, come into it like yourself, who are very successful, and then, you take that next step forward, right? And then you're like, okay, this is cool. Like, I'm good. And then you get out of your comfort zone again. You're like, dang, like, this guy's doing this and he's got this new strategy that's something I want to do. And then I'll tell you guys what I'm up to, and you're like, holy crap, okay, like, I'm really going to be trying to do something new this year. Cause at the end of the day, for me anyways, like, I've never wanted to build a business that's like complacent, like, I think it's great to automate things and like, build a business that, for, I guess, the best goal of a business is to print money, essentially. But, man, I get bored. The moment you finally get things going, I'm like, how do we shake this up? Like, what can we do to like grow to the next level? Because, business and the world and everything's changing so quick. And I like adapting and thinking about where it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you really kind of, hit home, right? Like, you're always kind of on that next trend, on the next cycle of things. And, one thing that we always appreciate is how open of a book you are, right? Like, every time we do a coaching call with you, every time we hop on the phone call with you or one of your teammates or team members, it really is the kind of open book approach where it's, hey, we need help from, your acquisitions team on how to do this piece of it, or we need help from, your sales guy on how to do this little piece of it. And each time, I think it's awesome how open book you are and your team is. And it's something that really we try to take at heart as well with the tribe, right, Alex? Like, everything that we do on this webinar, we've been doing this now, guys, 53 freaking weeks. So this is our, 1 year, 1 year anniversary episode. And that's why we wanted to bring somebody, so instrumental to us and what we've been doing on the call with you guys. But man, I think that open book approach is really something that hits home, and we're appreciative of, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's way easier to be, and for everyone listening and watching, it's way easier just to be honest and transparent with what you're doing than try to hide anything. Like, I remember when I was first getting on social media, way before Instagram, way before TikTok and YouTube, this was just on Facebook. And I just remember not wanting to share because I was like, I don't want to come off as like bragging and like, saying that this is what I'm doing. And then I was like, dude, you know what? This might inspire somebody. this might lead to more deals for me. It might lead to somebody wanting to work for me or with me. It might lead to somebody wanting to give me money to do a deal. And I was right. Like, I just started posting. I just got rid of the fear of judgment from other people. And I said, you know what? Even if people think that, I'm bragging or whatever, like, I don't care, because I think it's going to do more good than what the haters would do. And it did do that. And then I've just realized, as like things have grown, right? Like, haters are always going to be there. And you just have to just be open and be transparent. And as long as you are, like, with the good and the bad, you've got nothing to worry about. It's like I talk about all the time, like the times that things don't work out the way I thought, and, the mistakes I've made. And I think people really resonate with that.
Yeah, I think one of the first things you mentioned to us when we were talking about social media, when we got into the program in the beginning part, was like, you got to share your successes and your struggles. And I'm totally cool with that, because, this business isn't all rainbows and unicorns. And there is a lot of problems that come up, and there's a constant, there's one issue after another. But just being able to share both of that helps you become more relatable to other people. And, yeah, we're working on 16, 17 deals right now, but we were working on, a handful in the past. So we've been there before. And so I always look at it towards like, this is a big real estate and kind of mountain, right? And, you're dropping some rope down to us, Ryan. We're, helping get up higher on that. And then we're doing the same. We're throwing down some rope to some of the people that are a little bit earlier on in their journey, because the world is changing, and it's not so much where it's a good old boys club. And that's one of the things that I dislike working for other investors, where I really felt like they kept information close to the vest. They really didn't want to teach me everything, just enough for me to make them money, but not enough for me to go off and actually invest and do deals on my own. Even though it was like with Will, for example, right now, we're working on his house hack right now, because I want everybody on my team to own real estate and to become wealthy. I just don't want to become wealthy myself. I want everybody alongside me to also to be able to do that. And so I think that's what the culture you're building, bringing people on and saying, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I've already built out. You can get there too. But by the time they get to where you're at, you're going to be on another level. And I feel the same way too with what we're working on, that by the time people that we're helping now get to where we're at, we're going to be, a little bit more further along as well. So I know we have a bunch of questions. Do we want to jump into some of those? Will, we have some fantastic questions from the Facebook group. I also have some questions for you, Ryan. Are we going to jump into that, Will? Because we know Ryan's time is very valuable.
Yeah, let's dive into one of your questions first, and then we'll kind of go every other one and go with the Facebook group. And guys, if you want to go ahead and use the Q&A feature down there, we'll get a live question or two in from the audience as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and fire off one of your questions, Alex, and then we'll jump into one of our guest ones.
Yeah, so one of my main questions, Ryan, is I know we've talked about this maybe a little bit, and sometimes you mention it because of all the books that you read and masterminds you're a part of, but because there's so many people that look up to you, Ryan, who do you look up to? Like, who are your mentors currently?
Good question, man. So it's interesting, as my career has evolved, right? Like, my needs for different mentors have changed. So when I first got in this business, it was like, hey, how do I get around guys flipping houses? Because this is what I'm trying to excel at. I want to get around as many great people as I can for that. So, really, I just started out local. Like, Bigger Pockets was my first mentor, right? Like, that was it. Like, Brandon Turner, he wasn't even my mentor. He didn't know he was, but he was. I was learning from him every day. And then eventually I found a local guy here who helped me out along the way. His name was Luke Weber. And, it was great. We didn't have like this mentorship relationship where it was like, I'm going to pay you X, you're going to give me this. Like, it was just like a friendly, deal. We're both in business together in the same market. He was helping a young guy out. But as I evolved, I realized that, man, I need to pursue really high level guys to get to the next level, because I can flip a house here or there. I could flip a couple at a time, but man, who are the guys flipping 100? Like, that's a totally different business than flipping 10 houses, completely different skill set, needs, and problems. And so, I joined a mastermind called the Collective Genius, which was around other high level real estate people. And, it was tremendously helpful. Like, you had guys in there flipping a lot, guys in there who were doing multifamily, very diverse, it wasn't just flipping. And so it opened my mind to a lot of different ways to have success in real estate. And my flipping business has been great. But once I got my flipping business to where I wanted it, this will be the 4th year in a row doing, 7 figures and, just doing a lot of flips. And I just realized, okay, I need other mentors now because I'm going into other aspects of business, not just real estate, right? So when I decided I wanted to start a coaching program, I got a mentor on coaching, the coach teaching you how to coach, right? And so I talked to other guys who had successful programs, and I said, what creates, a successful program? Like, what should I do as a coach? What should my students do? How can I make sure they have success? And so I got mentored on how to, create a coaching program. Then when I decided I wanted to get on TikTok and YouTube, right? I didn't have any following, no experience. I said, all right, I need to figure out who's going to help me, do this. And so I found a few YouTubers who had millions of subscribers. And I was grateful enough to meet some people on TikTok that helped me out. And, in exchange, I gave them value. They wanted to get into real estate. They helped me with content. It was a great exchange. And in turn, I learned how to do the social media aspects. So I had, mentors on the social media side. Now, at this point, as I've grown to more than just like real estate and more than social media, but to kind of being like an entrepreneur who's running all of these different businesses and ventures, it became more apparent to me that I needed to get around people that have run I call it normal business at a high level, because most of my mentors and people I'm around are real estate related, but I wanted to find people that, have run $100 million companies. Okay. Most of them aren't real estate. They might be running $100 million company of health supplements or, e-commerce or, like there's the possibilities are endless. And so that's kind of what I've done this year is really seeking out people that are doing 100 million or more in business, because I'm not there, but I want to be there. And I think it's within the realm of possibility to do that. As long as I understand what it took to go from, we're over 10 million in revenue between businesses. What does it take to get from, 8 figures to 9 figures? And I don't know the answer because I haven't got there, but I can talk to these people that have. And, like one group I just joined is called YPO, Young Presidents Organization. And I'm the youngest guy in there. And most of these guys who are not most, but there are a bunch in there who, have 9-figure net worths. They're here in Vegas, and totally different skill sets than what I have, right? These guys have been running, traditional, corporate America type deals, not, the entrepreneur, young person hustle that we're all accustomed to. So I'm kind of immersing myself the opposite way as a guy who was an entrepreneur who did all of his own things, who founded all of his own companies and just kind of hustled his way to success with not really like any idea of how it like is supposed to work other than just figuring it out, to saying, all right, you know what? I kind of had a disadvantage never having a real job in like corporate America, because I never saw how like big corporations were run. I've never worked for one. So now I'm trying to like get my education on how truly big businesses run and how I can apply that to what I'm doing today. So long story short, my mentors change as my career changes and, my needs change.
Awesome answer. I love it, Ryan.
I was gonna say epic answer, right? And you know what, guys? While we're on that topic, I just want to release a quick poll, Alex, because again, like what a question and what an answer, right? But just want to know from you guys, do you have a mentor? Because I love what Ryan said right there, right? He was like, I don't even know if Brandon Turner knew that he was my mentor or not, right? Like I was listening to him every day, but like he was mentoring me without even knowing it. So just want to kind of get a little bit of feedback from that on that from you guys. And again, what an epic answer, right?
Yep.
So in the meantime, guys, we're going to go ahead and bring in another panelist real quick. This is one of our members of the tribe. Ryan and Nathan had an incredible question for you. We posed a question to our Facebook group asking folks to go ahead and chime in and get a chance to ask you a question. So this is Nathan's question for you. Let it rip.
Hey, Will. Hey, Alex. Good to see you guys. Ryan, thank you for being on the show.
What up?
So
What up?
my question to you is, what project are you most proud of and why does it mean so much to you?
Good question. Alex, were you on the call yesterday? You know what project I'm working on.
Yeah, the wealthy way.
Hey man, you're not supposed to be telling people everything already, dude. You're like giving previews of things that have not happened. So it's ironic you asked that. I was just on a call with our all-stars yesterday, telling them about, for me, the project I'm going to be most proud of. And yeah, I guess by the time this airs, maybe we'll be out, but I don't know. So anyways, I'll just give you guys a sneak peek since you guys are on this call. It is called The Wealthy Way, and it's super exciting. It's going to be this giant community that I'm creating, and everything's going to be completely free. Course, book, podcast, newsletter, blogs. I'm just trying to create this epic community around redefining what wealth is, because most people think wealth is all about, making money and getting rich. And the reality is it's not. Wealth is about building, abundance in all aspects of your life, whether it be your family, your faith, your health, your self-development. And yeah, your business plays a role in that too. Like all of those things make up what wealth truly is. And I've just realized, watching this for the last bunch of years, being around, I wouldn't even call them wealthy people, rich people, being around rich people and seeing their lives as a total disaster behind the scenes, with divorce and marriage problems and kids problems and health problems, like they neglect all these things in the pursuit of money. And I just realized, like, it's such a huge problem with no solution out there. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to make the solution. And thus the Wealthy Way was born. And well, it hasn't been born yet. You guys know about it. So do not tell anybody about it until, I launch it. My goal is to launch it like the 23rd of this month as an early Christmas gift to everybody. I'm giving away everything for free. I created like a 4-hour course kind of detailing, how to go about it. So that is what I'm going to be most proud of when we launch this. And people are asking, how do you sign up? So the sign up, you just follow me on social. And once I release it, I'll give you guys the link. You can sign up and it's going to be epic. We're creating a Discord community and all ton of stuff. I've been doing this for months, prepping.
Awesome.
And guys, if you aren't already aware, Ryan, like we mentioned earlier, it's the open book policy. And I just put the link in right here. But I mean, his first book that he ever wrote was absolutely incredible. And that's free, right? You give that away absolutely free. It's an ebook. You do not even have to pay for this book, although it's worth every dollar. I think it's $15 is what I paid for it. And man, I cannot tell you how much is in there. So I can't wait to see this project that you've been pouring into and that you're the most proud of, because your list of accomplishments is pretty big time. So for this to be one of your proudest projects, that says really about what it kind of means to you. So great question, Nathan. Again, appreciate you coming on, brother. We'll go ahead and go into another question of Alex's here. And again, man, we appreciate you joining us, Nathan.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I have this question, and I know that you're constantly looking at your students, Ryan, and now you've coached hundreds of people. So my question to you is, like, after coaching so many students, what would you say is like the most common traits of the most successful ones that you see, make it happen? What are those traits that you see are common?
Man, so what's funny is during this filming of The Wealthy Way and creating the curriculum for this course, one of the things that I detailed was traits of what I call a wealth builder. A wealth builder is anybody who follows the Wealthy Way. And one of the traits of a wealth builder is that there's somebody that is willing to take a risk and take action. I just see it happen all the time, right? People get paralysis analysis. They watch all my YouTubes and whatever, right? Or they attend this webinar, but they don't do anything. And I'm like, guys, literally just don't watch anything of mine at all or do something. Pick one. Okay. Because like society is becoming this thing where it's kind of entertaining to learn about education, which is weird, right? Entertainment used to be reality TV, sports, and all these things that are pure entertainment. But now people enjoy learning about like flipping houses and making money and these things, but they don't do anything with it. And so I've realized the most successful students are the ones who are willing to take a risk. They're willing to take action. And they just realize that, you know, the risk, when you actually break down risk, especially for most people probably on this webinar, the risk of flipping a house is not really that big. I mean, like if you think about the downside, the worst thing that happens is you lose money, right? Like you lose money, you figure it out, like you learn from your mistakes and you get back on the horse, and now you try again, you've learned a ton. That's the worst thing that could happen. Like, and if it's super bad, you just get foreclosed on and whatever. Well, I can tell you, I know a lot of people that have been foreclosed on that are very successful today. I know a lot of people that are very successful that have lost a lot of money on their first deal or even their 100th deal. You know, I've seen people who have had $1 million businesses who have gone bankrupt and lose it, only to just go make their millions again. So my point is, with failure and the risk and the fear of failure, it's really like way smaller than you realize. Like anybody can come back, especially if you're young. If you're young being in your 20s or 30s, you almost have nothing to lose, especially if you have no kids, no spouse. There's literally no reason you shouldn't take a risk. And that's what it comes down to. So for one, accepting what risk is and realizing that the risk of not doing anything is far greater than what you realize. You know, if you're unhappy with your life today, you're just making whatever you make. Later on down the road, if you choose to not do anything, you're going to live with a lot of regret. And I can tell you that regret is going to be way worse than, you know, potentially losing. If I could just know that I gave it my all, you know, when I thought about doing it and I had the chance and it didn't work out, I can live with my life knowing that, like, that's fine. And then I just make my moves going forward. But if I just think back on my life and be like, man, I should have just did that. I was too scared, and my life would be so different now if I just took a chance. Like that happens to a lot of people, and it should not be you. So the most successful students are the ones who take risk. They're the ones who take action. And I'll tell you, doing that stuff by yourself is really hard. Like I understand when you're by yourself and you don't have a community and you feel like you don't have the right mentors and coaches. I get it. Like it is a very scary thing, but that's the whole point of why we have Future Flipper. You know, it's just like, dude, if you have a coach helping you and you have a community around you who's making things happen, right? And they're vetting, you know, your deals and making sure you're not getting into trouble, you're going to be way more likely to pull the trigger and to take action because everyone else around you is. You cannot help but take action when everyone else is doing things. That's why Alex said at the beginning, like when he sees everyone else around him doing big things, even though he's doing big things, he's like, I got to do bigger things. Right. And that's what happens when you get in the right spot. And so if you've been that person who's paralysis analysis, you probably just need a better community. And it ain't YouTube. You know, I love you guys for watching my YouTube channel, but in the end, my YouTube channel can't give you any feedback. When you have a problem, I can't address it, you know, on YouTube. There's no back and forth. But when you're in a community, you get feedback instantly when you have a problem. And that's what helps you get through them.
Great answer, guys. And we push our tribe all the time too, Ryan. We're like, hey, go take action above anything else, because, you know, when you take action, you have different questions. You have the experience of making 100 offers. Well, you're going to have different questions, right? Than if you just, hey, what if I make an offer that way and you've never made an offer? So, man, I love it. Do we have another question for Ryan, Will?
Yeah, we got one more. And guys, I just want to remind you, if we get 5 people to, you know, share a win or ask a question in the tribe this week, I went ahead and shared the Facebook group link there for you. If we get 5 people to share a question or a win, I will go ahead and share with you guys a 10-15 minute call that we had with a seller reducing a price down about 10-15K, about 6% of the property value. So we'll go ahead and share that with you guys, get that in there and ask some questions in there, guys. I couldn't agree with what Ryan said more. Having a network of other like-minded people that are going through the same things as you could not be easier. And that's why we want to challenge you to share a win if you have one, because sometimes your little win can connect you with somebody else that's like, dude, I'm trying to have that same win, and like, Alex alluded to, like, you throw the rope back for that other person, right? You bring that other person in the tribe right along with you. So we're extremely excited to have such a cool community of people here. And again, I shared the Facebook group for anybody who is new and is not a part of the group yet. So guys, we're going to bring on one more person here for a question. Got a good one in here from Mr. Will Orozco. So we're going to go ahead and bring Will in, and we'll answer this question live on screen here. If we can get him on, I see him joining us right now. Great question. And, again, we appreciate you being a part of the tribe here as well, Will. If you can turn on your camera and your sound there, and we'll go ahead and get your question asked, man.
There you go. Hey, what's up, guys? Honored to be here. Just wanted to ask, what was the biggest mindset shift you had to make, that you had to overcome when you, started flipping houses?
Yeah, Will, you what are you doing at the golf course, dude? I can tell you're behind the scenes, man. Are you in landscape?
What's that?
Are you in landscape?
No. This is just my office. I mean, I got golf.
I see the Titleist hat. I see the golfer parking only. I see a trophy. I'm like, dude, this guy works at the golf course. This is great.
Oh, he golfs every Friday with the boys. He never misses it.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the golf.
Dude, I'm trying to be a good golfer. But anyways, you said, what's the biggest mindset shift? Man, I mean, I kind of talked about it just now with understanding risk, and like, to me, the biggest mindset, like living with regret, to me is a far bigger risk than actually like losing and failing. So I think that's like the biggest mindset shift. But the second biggest mindset shift, I would say, is thinking bigger. It sounds cliche, but when you actually get around people who are thinking bigger, you're like, holy crap. Like, I'll give you a good example. When I made 100,000 for the first time in my life when I was 27 years old. That was only 5 years ago. Okay. And I wasn't around people making $100,000, like my friends weren't doing it. My family wasn't doing it. Nobody was doing it. And so, I did it, and I was like, dude, I'm freaking rich. Like, I am so rich. I could buy anything. Like, my life is set, dude. And I remember getting around some guys who had done over $1 million a year. And I was like, holy crap, like, how did you make $1 million in a year? Like, this is freaking crazy. But, you hang around these guys, and sure enough, you start to realize this guy ain't any different than me. This guy is a normal dude. At the end of the day, he found a way to make $1 million doing the same thing I'm doing. Like, what's so different? And so, hanging around that guy, sure enough, it didn't happen instantly, but I got to over $1 million, right? Well, you're always, just depending on how much you want to grow, you start to hang around other people doing big things. And I remember I met my first guy who was making $1 million in a month. And I was like, golly, how do you make $1 million in a month? Like, this is freaking insane. And sure enough, he shares it with me. And I start to say, I'm like, it's like freaking deja vu. I go, man, this guy is not like anything crazy. And there's no reason I couldn't do that, right? Like, I'm just missing some tools and some pieces, and my thought process wasn't right because I just didn't believe that type of stuff was possible. Well, sure enough, I've made $1 million in a month now, and we do it pretty consistently. So, at this point, the next level up from there is just like, how do you get to whatever it is? And I haven't met the guy yet who's making 10 million a month, but I can tell you, the moment I do, there will be some realization I'll have where it's like, dude, that's not as crazy as I thought it would be. Like, and there's something that I'll have to do different because I'm not there, right? Like, but there are people in the world that do it. I'm just not around them, And so it's different to look at, Elon Musk or somebody else and be like, oh, well, of course he's Elon Musk. But when you get somebody who's right there with you, talking to you, who maybe you don't consider them a peer, but at least they're a mentor, somebody that, you can actually talk to and pick their brain. It makes things possible. And you just realize that, man, you know what? like I see it with my own eyes, what's possible. And this is kind of like why I tell people to come to our events, because that's one thing, is like seeing is believing, right? Watching YouTube and watching Elon Musk, like that's great. But dude, I don't get inspired by watching Elon Musk. I'm like, dude, I'll never be Elon Musk. You know, that guy's crazy. He's just like, it's out of my league. But whenever I meet somebody in person and I have a good conversation with them, I'm around them and I can pick their brain, it does a different thing where I'm like, I believe that I can do this, because I'm literally talking to this guy who did it. And he's telling me step by step how it happened. And I can see where I'm at and where he, you know, when he was at my level and the steps he took to get to his level. And so that could just be from doing your first flip. That could be from buying a 100-unit apartment. You know, like, dude, I bought a 334-unit apartment this year. Last year, you know, if you would have told me that, I'd been like, dude, I don't know how to buy that. Like, that's freaking crazy. Like, how do I do that? Right. Well, guess what? In all, what month was this? Maybe like in April this year, you know, I meet with my buddy Tim Bratz, and he has 5,000 units. He goes, dude, it's not that hard. Like, and to him, 5,000 units, he's like 334 units. Like, dude, we could do this easy. And I'm like, this is not easy. And he's like, no, it really is. Like, here's what you do. And I was like, okay, that actually does sound pretty easy. It's not as hard as I thought. And, you know, having his confidence behind me, he's like, dude, you're going to raise so much money. Like, he was like, if you just do what I tell you to do, you're going to own $1 billion in real estate. Like, you will. It's not even like, that is the probable case if you just want to do it and you pursue it. And sure enough, hanging out with him made me think bigger. And then boom, we buy the building. Him and I actually partnered on it together. And I'm with him. Like, I believe that I can do those things now because, you know, Tim owns $500 million in real estate, you know, and to see how quickly he did it, and to see, like, I have a huge head start of, you know, my starting point versus his starting point. It's like, I could exponentially get there a lot quicker because of all the things I already have. So I guess the long-winded answer to that is, like, by the way, guys, if you're trying to explain something, always share a story so that it becomes more relatable and people can really understand, you know, that it's true. You know, I could just say, hey, think bigger, but now you understand, hopefully, by sharing my own experiences with you. But that's my biggest thing, dude, is like, you can do so much more than you think. And the people doing big things are not as crazy as you think. Like, these guys hang out with me at the mastermind. Like, they know, like, people think sometimes I'm some kind of superhero or something. I'm like, dude, no, like, I'm just a normal guy.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Great
Hey
answer.
guys, I'll echo that. I mean, you know, Ryan said it right. Being the smallest fish in a big room of fish is very valuable. Ryan would not have bought a 330 plus unit building if he didn't have the people in his fish tank that were saying, like, yo, man, you can do this. This is easy. This is doable. So I love that. And Will, great question. We appreciate you, brother. We'll catch up soon. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Great seeing you, Will.
All right, man.
Ryan, I know you, Alex, I know you had another question that you wanted to fire off for Ryan. So let's go ahead and ask that one, and then we'll see if we can squeeze one more in here from one of our attendees. All right.
I actually had both of my questions answered already.
Oh, cool. Then I get to ask mine. So that's even better then. So here we go. This is my time to shine then. All right, man. Well, you know, Ryan, my question for you was, I know you've got your business scaled and dialed in to a point, right? What were some of the most important ways that you were able to prioritize the things that matter most to you and the things that need most of your attention? Because I know you're a big family guy, you know, you're very big on those things that are most important to you. But I know that also, you know, scaling a business and growing to where you've gotten, you know, it requires a good amount of your attention as well. So how do you balance those while you're scaling and doing so much?
Yeah, so I think that's the exact reason why I'm starting the Wealthy Way, is to teach exactly that. You know, I just was looking at the course. It's like 4 hours long, you know, so the answer to that would be 4 hours long in depth. But the short answer to it is, like, when it comes down to your priorities and balance, it's like, first off, you got to be aware of the different categories that you should be pursuing, right? Because most people don't even realize the categories. So, like, you gotta, with any game you play, you got to understand the game and the rules and everything else, right? speaking of rules, right? Each game has a time limit. Our time limit is 24 hours. No other person gets more hours than anyone else. We all get the same 24, and how we choose to chop up those 24 each day dictate our lives, to the world and what we accomplish on this earth. So, when I look at it, I say, well, okay, I personally have 24 hours. I can go buy hours from other people, right? I can go hire employees, and, maybe I can now manage, 1,000 hours a day, between all the various people, right? And so it's figuring out, okay, I've got these 1,000 hours. How can I use everybody to their full capabilities in those time frames, right? So it's like, okay, these guys have to do this, this guys have to do that, right? Like, so they're all delegated and doing their thing, right? But that's kind of like the huge high level overview of like how you can scale and, still have your priorities in line. But looking at it from just my perspective of like, what am I doing with my time? I start by looking at what I want my life to look like. Okay. So for me, I've said this many times, like I want to work out in the morning, want to have my morning routine, spend my time with God. I don't want to work on weekends. Like I just want to work at the office 10 to 5, and that's it. And, I want to spend time with my family after 5. And I want to, be able to golf on Fridays. I want to go on vacation. I want to, do these things, right? So I think it first comes with defining what is the lifestyle you're looking to achieve. Okay. Because if you don't know what you're trying to even achieve, what do you know how to do on a daily basis? It makes no sense. So figuring out from the outside and then building it in like, okay, this is, what I want to do. What are the actions I need to take to make this happen? And that's kind of what I've built. And I think at this point, knowing that I'm living the schedule I want to live, it does two things. I mean, for one, I'm happy, right? But two, I understand that I may never have like $1 billion company or any of these things because like these guys are willing to work 16 hours a day and I'm just not. And so you just have to be okay with that, right? Like you can't ever play the comparison game of like, oh man, I want to outdo him, or like, dude, you got to play your own game. And so like my own game is all I'm concerned about. And it don't matter to me what anyone else is really doing. And so that's going to be what brings true fulfillment is, playing your own game and doing the schedule you want. It's not about somebody else making more money than you or somebody else, doing more deals or whatever. Like be content with who you are. And I think Alex, you do a great job of that. You're living the lifestyle, and that's exactly what I'm preaching as well. Is like, dude, your version of lifestyle is like, dude, I want to live in Maui. I want a vacation. I want to go to Mexico. I want to do those things. I don't want a vacation as much as you, and that's okay. Like, at the end of the day, I just want to live what I want to live. So that's kind of like the broad overview of it. But when it comes to production as it relates to business, for me, I know that my strength is in creating big picture things, right? Like I'm very good at creating the team, the systems. So I just want to do top level stuff that, essentially will trickle through everything else. So it's like, for me, like at this point, social media just creates so much revenue for all the businesses because it just generates so much traffic and leads and everything else that it's the best use of my time, like on a, just like, what am I going to do day to day? Right. But once I'm done filming all my videos, okay, I usually takes me 2 days to film my videos for the week. The other days I have to work, I'm always working on big picture stuff. You'll never see me taking seller calls or walking a project or, doing just day-to-day stuff. Like, and there's nothing wrong with doing those things. Like somebody has to do them. Right. And I've done them for a long time. And if I had nothing better to do, then sure, I would do them. But I do have so many things I can do. And so, for example, the last few months, I've been filming my content 2 days a week, and then I've been working on the Wealthy Way. And that's all I've done the last 2 months. Is just, hey, bust out my day-to-day task, AKA film content, lead the funnel. You know, if I got to do any meetings with my teams, cool, like just handle that. And then every hour I have available was devoted to building out the Wealthy Way. And, you know, now that once that launches and it's done and everything else, then I'll move on to the next project, you know? So, you know, I've got a few other things that I want to do, but you have to also understand prioritization of what you want to do, right? As entrepreneurs, we got like 8 million ideas that we want to do, myself included. I have a lot of things I want to do, but I understand the Wealthy Way is the most important at the moment, and I will not do anything else until that's where I want it to be, right? So launched, done, communities built, like whatever, right? I don't know how long it'll take. We will see. But once that's done, then I'll move on to whatever the next project is. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. That's why I say, like, once the course comes out, it'll go in depth on really building that life out.
And guys, one thing I just want to mention on that is, like, again, Ryan really does schedule his day out to the point where he is, you know, really effective with, like, hey, I'm going to be at home with my kids at 5 o'clock. I'm out of the office. But one of the coolest things, I think, and something that we've tried to take into our business as well, is, you know, everything that he said he's done it before. So he's not asking somebody to do something that he hasn't done already in his business. But I know nobody in your office has to be there on Saturday, right? Like, nobody has to be there past 5. It's not like Ryan checks out and everybody else is like, hey, see you guys at 8, you know, keep working. It's like, hey, it really is that kind of family culture, and you know, everybody gets those same respects that you do. So I think, you know, that's why you've been able to develop such a killer team that you have, of guys out there that want to continue working with you as opposed to going out and doing their own thing, right?
Yeah, you know, company culture is so huge, and it starts from the top down. You know, I think at the last masterminds, my presentation was on leadership, you know, and I think I gave the 10 commandments of leadership, and I can't remember if it was the first commandment or not, but like one of them was, it starts with you, right? At the end of the day, your company is a reflection of you. And so if everybody is always leaving your company for other things, well, it tells me like you suck. You know, that's what it comes down to. If you're a great leader and you are, you know, serving your employees and you're giving them opportunity and allowing them to grow, why would they ever leave? Like, you're creating this great culture, you know? In fact, tomorrow I'm taking 40 people to Park City, Utah to snowboard in our company, in, well, all the companies. And dude, it's just something I want to do. Like, are we going to lose money because, you know, I literally shut the office down Thursday, Friday, you know, the weekend? Like, we're taking 4 days off, and yeah, I'm sure it's going to cost us revenue, but I don't really care. Like, you know, at the end of the day, for me, like I said, it's more than money. Like, the stuff that we're doing is about more than just money. It's about lifestyle. It's about community. And, you know, what I try to build at Future Flipper with community is the same thing I try to build within my own office. It's the same thing I'm going to try and build with the Wealthy Way. And, you know, everything else that we do is like, man, community and the people are really all that matters in everything you do. And if you remember that in business and you just put the people first, you are going to realize, like, man, there's so much that you can do. And people first, all the way from your own employees to your customers, to your contractors, to, you know, your followers. As long as you're thinking about other people, you're going to make, like, you have a lot of success.
Yeah, and I want to say one thing real quick, Ryan, about the whole, you know, because people do see my lifestyle and they're like, oh man, you got the life, you're in Maui, you're in Mexico and all that. But that's because I've designed it that way. And I already put in the work. I've been doing this for 5 years. So I earned the right to be able to design the life I want, but I'm available. It's not like I'm on vacation 24/7. It doesn't matter what time zone I'm on. My team can reach me. Now, not 24/7, but they know I'm still a grindaholic. I just might be on a beach on Maui. I might be in my penthouse in Guadalajara. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to get stuff done. So, but I put in those 3-4 years of heavy lifting to understand how to lead these people and to buy these deals so we're all profitable. And then also, I'm willing to also give a bigger portion of the profit, of the commission than maybe a normal person would, because I understand that I'm not in the traditional I guess, business structure. I'm a little bit more remote. So I don't have a problem with that because I still get what I want, the lifestyle I want. And then I'm still helping my team grow. I'm still seeing them on a regular basis. I'm still spending time with each team that I'm building in Hawaii, in Mexico, in LA. They all get a piece of me. It just, I'm not in any one place permanently, but that's because, again, like, I've earned that right. So I think it just, like, people want to enjoy the lifestyle before they put in the work, before they've really earned it. And I think that's super important, that, hey, you could design it the way you want it, but it's not like it's going to happen year number one either. So I just want to make that point.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, I've never seen Ryan's calendar, but I do have access to Alex's. So I would imagine that Ryan's just says 5:00 p.m., go home to family. Alex's says 5 p.m., go swim with turtles. So I mean, to each their own. To each their own. It's lifestyle design, and I think both of these guys up here are, great examples of people that are doing that on a extremely high level. Guys, we did send out a poll earlier today, and I'm going to go ahead and share the results with everybody right now, just so you guys can see this. We had 100 people answer this poll, and out of those 100 people, 43 people did not have a mentor currently. And what that tells me is that a lot of you guys have not had a chance yet to get onto Ryan's webpage and or work with Alex or I directly. So if you guys aren't aware, we have a code here, and I see a lot of people mentioning that they're going to the mastermind, in January in Vegas, and we have a code that we can get you guys to get you a little bit of a discount on a couple of these things. But man, if you guys do not have a mentor yet, the reason why we brought Ryan on here for our 1-year anniversary is because this guy's probably one of the best mentors in the game. And, he has been absolutely, monumental for growing our business. So I'm going to put the code and the link in here just so you guys all have that. And I'll make sure I post it in the Facebook group as well. But again, guys, I think getting connected with Ryan is a great way for any of you 43 folks out there to get started. And if you're not ready yet to make that monetary commitment, that's where I highly suggest going to our Facebook group and just sharing what your win is for this week. And that way other people who are having those similar wins can connect with you and let you know, like, hey man, I'm in the same boat right now. I'm in the same place. I want to grow. I want to see my business get bigger as well. So I'm going to post both of those links in here and encourage everybody to take a look and check those out.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is, a lot of you guys, I was reading the comments. Many of you are coming to the mastermind, and that's great. I would say that is the first step. I'm not sure what that code does. We'll give you guys a new code for the mastermind, because that might only work for the courses. But for this call, for just only everyone on this call, 2 things. 1, don't tell anyone about the Wealthy Way until we launch it. And then 2, we'll give you guys $1,000 off for the mastermind for everyone's on this call. So I'm going to give Alex a code after this to use, so that way we know that you guys were on. And if you DM me, make sure that you just tell me, hey, I watched Alex's thing. It's $1,000 off. My team will know what to do with it. And that way we can honor the deal. But you got to use the code or let us know that you were on this webinar. And, like I said, we like action takers too. So you got to do it within the next 24 hours or the code's going to expire. So I'm going to have the team make that. You got to take a risk, guys. I see so many Hawaii people in the chat. Like, these people have paid a lot of money to do this, and they'll be the first ones to tell you it was worth it, not only for the event, but to fly out there, to get a hotel. Like, it's not cheap, but man, in real estate, it's crazy. You only need one deal to make anything worth it, So yeah, take action, guys. Take action. That's like the biggest thing I can say.
And while we're on that note, I got one more panelist or one more tribe member we're just going to invite on. Quick question, and I feel like that kind of rolls right into what you were saying, right? Taking action. But Eric's got a great question about, what the biggest asset is that you've kind of brought in, and we'll let him get his screen on here in a second and ask that. Eric, fire away, man.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? My question, dude, is what's the number one asset? I know you've grown your business and you've scaled, but what's the number one asset in yourself that you feel you've changed over time from when you started your business and to how you're doing now?
The number one asset I've changed.
Like your personal trait that you've actually changed in yourself.
Yeah. So, I think I've evolved a lot over the years. I think for me, I was always a risk taker. Like, so that has always been there. But the two things I didn't know that I could be were one, a good leader. Being a good leader was something that never came natural to me. Like I was just, even when I was playing baseball, man, I'm like, dude, I'm just going to do my own thing. Like, not trying to be the team leader or the captain. Like, I just want to play baseball and chill. And I did not realize like that would be something that was so important to growing a company and attracting people. So that for sure has evolved over time. And I just continue to try and grow that way because that is what's going to lead to, scale and bigger things. The second thing that really has changed is, I would say, like my fear, not my fear, but I'm an introvert by nature, and I've allowed myself to become more extroverted, and you see that with creating content. It's like, dude, you gotta, be out there. If you're gonna go out there and make videos and stuff, and just it's so weird at first, like just talking to a camera that like you're not talking to anybody, you're just talking. Like, super weird. And so I was just like, I'll just do it. And I did that. And then, you start to see, I get asked to speak on stage, and I'm like, dude, I'm kind of like scared to speak on stage, like I don't really want to do this ever. Like back in high school and stuff, I'd be embarrassed giving class presentations and stuff. Like I've always sat in the back. I just want to do my own thing and, not worry about that. So, getting out of my comfort zone, doing that. And then, going to these events now, people always want to talk to me and ask questions and do things. And naturally, if I'm at an event, I would rather just do nothing. Like I would rather just chill in the back and observe the event and learn and do whatever it is I came there to do. But my life is way different now, right? Like now that I've done all these things, if I go to an event, people are going to talk to me. And so I pretty much have to be an extrovert and do what I have to do. But all of that is to say, I enjoy talking to people and I enjoy interacting and I enjoy doing things like this, but it was not natural for me. My natural tendency is to sit in my office by myself, do my work, go home. That's what natural is for me. But I've grown over time. And I think, people who are introverted by nature need to learn to, get out there and put themselves out there.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you, man.
Love that, man. Great feedback there. And what we're going to do now, guys, is something we just kind of always ended as, and, welcome everybody in the group onto the screen real quick. So I'm going to welcome everybody in. Everybody can say hey to Ryan and again, thank him for joining us and spending an hour of his time with us here on Wednesday. Guys, this is our 1 year anniversary. So one last thing I do want to ask is if you guys got a hell of a lot of value out of today with the legend, the GOAT himself, Mr. Ryan Pineda, please go ahead and let us know. Please let us know in the chat. Please let us know by taking a photo and sharing it with other people. And if you guys are so inclined, Ryan is only 1,180,000 YouTube subscribers ahead of us. So let's see if we can catch up. Give us some watch time, some love, some show time on there if you guys get a chance, and tune in and share this video with somebody who missed it. Because again, I think anybody who watches this can get some value out of what Ryan shared today.
Yeah, guys. No, it's been a lot of fun. I actually just posted in the chat because people were saying the code's invalid. So the promo code is Camacho 1000. That will give you $1,000 off the mastermind. It's good for the next 24 hours. So I put the link there. Make sure you use the code. I would love to see you guys in Vegas. It is going to be a blast.
Every mastermind gets bigger and better, man. Dude, I swear, you guys keep changing events, and are you having it at a different location now? Right?
I think next quarter is going to be at a different location. This one's going to be at the same, but our after parties are at different locations. I got to tell you, man, you guys take the after parties way too You guys go way too hard at the after parties. So, you know,
Oh,
just make
so
sure you show up to the mastermind.
if you wanna have an old fashioned with Ryan, you got to come to the mastermind.
Yeah. You know, if you guys ever see me at the bar for one of these things, get me an old fashioned.
Awesome, awesome.
So
Well,
guys, like I said, if you can, go ahead and turn on your screens. We'd love to get everybody with your screen on. And if everybody can get your screen on, we'll take one big group picture with everybody. Again, thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us today. This was absolutely legendary. If you guys have your screen on and you guys got a lot of value from Ryan today, go ahead and turn on your sound. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up, give us a hell yes, give us something. Let us know if you
What's
guys
up,
got
RP?
some value out of this. Let's go.
What up? What up?
awesome.
Thank you guys for everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank
My
you.
deal makers, let's go out there.
Awesome.
and
Thank you.
Congrats, Will. Congrats, Camacho.
Thank you,
And
sir.
thank you guys so much for keeping up with us, guys.
All right.
I skipped class for this
Let's everybody
webinar.
give us a real big quick future flipper on 3. All right, everybody turn on your sound, turn on your screens, and let's get a big future flipper on 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Future
Flippers.
Let's go, guys. We'll see you all in the back half of the meetup. Catch us on the mastermind. Use that code Camacho 1000, and that's on Ryan's link there, guys. We will see you on the flip side.
Peace.
Hey.
Go.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
care,
guys.
Thanks, guys. Congrats again.
Good to see you, Warren. We'll see you soon, brother.
Yep. See you in a bit.
Good to see you, Tim. Ulysses, in the man, bro. We'll see you guys.